We are back. We are back. Let's go ahead and reset the room. Listen, we are here to talk about do, 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 people pleasing. Hold on one second. How many people are people pleasers? If you are a people pleaser, say me. What's up, Kenosha? How many people are people pleasers? How many people are people pleasers? How long have you been a people pleaser? How many years have you been a people pleaser? Six years since childhood. Where did that come from? All your life. Why? Y'all listen, if y'all ever sign up for coaching with me, we're going to do the 5 whys. Why? Why? Why have you been a people pleaser all your life? Where that shit come from? I'm going to break some shit down. Why? Why do you people please? Why are you still doing that? Why? If you know you are a people pleaser, why do you still do it? Why? Hello, what's up, Rich Girl? Why do you do it? If you are a people pleaser, why do you still do it? What if I told you that people pleasing is keeping you broke? What if I told you that people pleasing is keeping you broke? You said to keep peace around you, but do you have peace within yourself? When you are a people pleaser, you might have peace around you, but there's no peace within yourself. And if there's no peace within yourself, it doesn't matter about the people around you. You have no internal peace. So, in order to go ahead and let's go ahead and get this question started, we're going to restart the class. You ready? Listen, you say, I believe it, I used to be. What's up, Buttercups? What's up, Buttercups? Tonight, we are going to talk about something that no one tells you about. People pleasing. Most of you all have been people pleasers all your life because you think it's being kind. And I always tell people, when people talk about love, I tell me, I ask you, how do I love you? People don't know how to question. They be like, what you mean? How do you love me? Don't lie to me. Don't know. You telling me not how to hurt you. How do I love you? See, the reason why we don't have a lot of the things that we want in life because we never define what they really are. Define kindness to me. What does that mean, being kind? What does that mean? What does kindness mean? Does people pleasing in your world meaning being kind, and you'll forever be a people pleaser? Huh? Most people think it means that you're a good person. If you try to help everybody and please everybody, and I'm gonna do this to help this person, I'm gonna do this, and I'm a blah blah blah, and I ain't never go. Anytime my mama asks me for something, I'm always gonna be there. That's what I'm doing. I'm a good person. But I need you to hear something that's going to make you uncomfortable tonight. People pleasing is one of the fastest ways to stay broke, exhausted, and invisible. I'm going to say this again. People pleasing is one of the fastest ways to stay broke, exhausted, and invisible. Because the world does not reward the person who sacrifices themselves. The world rewards the person who sets standards. What's up, Buttercups? Come on in. People pleasing is keeping you broke. I want you to know that tonight I am going to break down why people pleasing is not generosity. People pleasing is actually survival. Listen, it's a survival pattern that was installed in you a long time ago. I want you to type yes in the chat if you've ever done something you didn't want to do just to keep the peace. Listen, type yes in the chat. If you have done something that you didn't want to do within this last week just to keep the peace, type yes. You don't have to tell me what it is. Just type yes. If you know that you've done something that you did not want to do, whether it was at work, whether it was at home, whether it's within your friend group, something that you did not want to do just to keep the peace, type yes. Because you are a people pleaser. Now, for a lot of the people, I asked them before we went live on YouTube, I said, how long have you been a people pleaser? And a lot of people said, a long time or all my life. And then I said, well, where did that come from? And didn't nobody really have an answer. So I'm going to go ahead and explain to you where people pleasing comes from. Again, my name is Coach Misty. You are here in my Sunday classes, and we have the I do, you do, we do method. I'm going to explain to you what we're talking about. I'm going to ask you to interact to so you can have a full understanding. And then I'm going to give you homework at the end of the night so you can go ahead and use the next 7 days to evolve. Is that all right with y'all? I'm not here to motivate. I'm here to stimulate. Huh? I'm here to manipulate your mind into believing that you are something different, because the mind believes what you tell it. The mind doesn't listen. The mind cannot differentiate a lie from the truth. You say you just don't like conflict, but you have internal conflict. If you people please because you don't like conflict, that means that you are willing to sacrifice yourself at every given turn. And to me, that is the greatest war of all. Huh? Come on, somebody. I'm going to explain the origin of people pleasing from a psychological level, if you don't mind. People pleasing usually starts in childhood. Children learn very quickly which behaviors get approval and which behaviors create tension. If love, attention, or safety feel conditional, the child learns a strategy. That is to make everyone comfortable. Don't cause problems. Don't say no. Don't disappoint people, right? Over time, the brain turns this into an identity. You stop asking, what do I want? And you start asking, what will keep everyone happy? How many of y'all are doing something that keeps everybody else happy? How many of y'all will work a totally different job if you felt like nobody would throw judgment on you? How many people are in a career right now because that's what your mother wanted you to do? Let me reframe that question. How many people are in a career path right now because that's what your mother wanted you to do? Your mother thought that you should be a teacher, so you became a teacher. Your mother was a nurse. Her mother was a nurse, so you became a nurse. When in actuality, you never was really interested in medicine in the first place. How many people are working instead of starting a business so you can keep the peace in your home? How is that working out for you? The problem is our identity doesn't disappear when you become an adult. So if you learn people pleasing as a child, that doesn't disappear when you become an adult. You don't grow out of that. You grow into it. It follows you into your relationships. It follows you into your friendships. It follows you into your career. And some of you guys, your businesses. And eventually your entire life becomes built around managing other people's comfort. I always use this example. People say all the time, you cuss too much. You know what I tell them? Get the fuck on. People come in my lives. People be like, I love you, Coach Misty, and I like what you're saying, but you just cuss too much for me. And what do I tell them? Get the fuck on. In that order. Get the fuck on. You know why? You know why? Because if I stop saying this word to make you comfortable, then someone's gonna say, "Oh, Coach Misty, I love you, what you're saying. I just don't like your approach." And now I'm changing who I am and how I get down to make you feel comfortable. So now I'm not cursing, and now I'm talking to you in this type of voice. And then someone else say, "Well, Coach Misty, I like it better when you don't wear headscarves and you wear your hair." So now I'm not cursing and I'm talking in this voice and I'm keeping my headscarves on. And oh, but Coach Misty, I like when you wear dresses. When you wear the dresses online, you look more, it gives a more natural glow. And yeah, and I like the way. And sometimes I feel like you come off more feminine and more docile. And I like it, Coach Misty. And you come off softer. So now I'm not cursing and now I'm talking in this voice. And now my hair, I never wear a headscarf. And now I'm going to go ahead and wear a dress. And I've become something other than who I am. And I'm miserable. I'm miserable because God knows I like a good hoodie. God knows I like a good hoodie, bamboo earrings, a headscarf, and a couple cuss words. God knows my heart. He knows who I am. How many of you watching were the strong one in your family? How many of you guys watching are been identified as a strong one in your family? If that's you, you can put the little emoji for the strong arm. If you have been identified as a strong one in your family, let me know in the comments. Huh? Listen, if you have been identified, listen, as a strong person in your family. Ebony said, I'm strong. Tamara said, I'm strong. Harmony Muse said, I'm strong. Rich Girl Rose say, super strong. Elaine, we need to talk about business-based strong. Liz, strong. Deb said, strong arm. Empress, strong. Y'all super strong. I want you to know, listen, I want you to know that being the strong one is often code for being the one who ignored their own needs. When people say you are strong, what they meant is you were there for everybody. When people say you are strong, what they meant was you sacrificed, huh? You put everybody's problems on your back. When you listen, when you are the strong one, you did all of these things, you're super strong. That doesn't mean that you took up for yourself. It means that you took on everyone else's problems, and this is how you became the strong one. That's not strong. That's self-sacrificing. It's two different things. Listen, she said, I'm princess and I'm the strongest one in my family, and I'm only 23 years old. That's crazy work. I'm gonna tell now. We're gonna. I'm gonna pivot, and I want to talk about the financial cost of people pleasing. People pleasing is costing you money. I'm gonna connect this to your money, and see, once I start connecting these type of things to your money, that's when people start seeing things a little differently. I want you to know that people pleasers struggle financially for three reasons. Listen, people pleasers struggle financially for three reasons. Number one, you undercharge. When you are a people pleaser, you undercharge. If you have a business and you are a people pleaser, you make your pricing based on what you think people can afford. You create your pricing. You be like, well, there's a lot of single mothers that follow me, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna keep my pricing under $50 because I know they got a family to feed and this, that, and the other. So you undercharge when you are a people pleaser. When you are, how many people please in a business? How many people know they should be charging a lot more than what they charging, but you're trying to make everybody happy and you don't want to rock the boat? If you have a business and you are in your second and third year of business and you have never changed your prices, you are a people pleaser. You are scared to rock the boat. Whether you know it or not, if you have been in business for more than 12 months and you have not increased, not narrow price, you still got the same prices when you started with day one, you are a people pleaser. You feel guilty asking for money. You lower your prices so that people, I remember I used to lower my prices. I used to come out with a price and people wasn't biting at that price, and then I would lower the price for people to come in, and the people who came in at the lower price still didn't do nothing I needed them to do. They still didn't complete the program. It was just a waste of time for me. So instead of charging $5.97 for this boot camp, I ended up charging $197. And I started with 12 people, and by week two I only had 3 people. And if I would have kept the 3 people who was willing to pay me the $5.97 to begin with, it would have made it. It would have been a much easier process. You give discounts that you didn't need to give. You're people pleasing. Or you work harder than everyone else, but you earn less. That's people pleasing. If you are at your job and you are doing the job of other people and still getting one paycheck, you are a people pleaser. If you volunteer to do things that is not going to advance your knowledge so you can get a promotion, if you do things at your job that is not going to advance you in any way other than kissing somebody's ass, you are a people pleaser. For someone to say, oh my gosh, she always come through. If your manager walk up to you and be like, I know I can ask you to do this because you never turn me down, you are a people pleaser. Second, so the first thing is you undercharge. We're talking about people pleasing. Listen, we're talking about people pleasing and we're talking about finances. You undercharge. Second, you tolerate bad opportunities. When you are a people pleaser, you tolerate bad opportunities. So instead of negotiating better situations, you accept whatever is offered. I'm going to say this again. Instead of negotiating situations, you accept what is offered, right? Listen, because you don't want to be up here difficult. So you say, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take it. A lot of y'all be like, listen, a lot of y'all be like, I'm gonna go ahead and you know what? I know I deserve to get $25 at this job, but they offering 19, and I don't want to say nothing because I ain't had a job in 5 years. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take what is offered, right? Yeah, you tolerate bad opportunities. How y'all be in relationships with people, situationships with people for years. You say, well, I think he loved me. He act like he loved me, but I'm not gonna ask him if he loved me because I don't want to rock the boat. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep doing what I'm doing. You're doing what? Tolerating bad opportunities, right? So here's the deal. The third one is you avoid visibility. People pleasers often stay small because attention feels unsafe. Because visibility is required for opportunity. So you say, I'm going to be a behind the scenes person. How many people on here or a behind the scenes type of person? How many people watching me now think you, I'm gonna say behind the scenes? You know more than anybody else, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna sit, I'm just gonna stay back here. I'm not gonna worry about nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna support people from behind the scenes, right? And then you wonder why the opportunities never come your way. You at work and you helping everybody behind the scenes. You know, I don't want no credit for what I do. I do it because I love people and I love how I do, and I da 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 da. I'm behind the scenes, and then the next person, the person that you help behind the scenes, get the promotion. They don't know half as much as you know, and now you in your car mad, you hot, you hitting the steering wheel, you hot, you mad, you cussing better than not curse, and that takes a lot to curse better than not curse. You know why? Because what, you were behind the scenes. Listen, again, you stay behind the scenes while less talented people step forward. I want you to type the word facts if you've ever watched someone less qualified get opportunities simply because they were louder. Type the word facts, whether it was in church, whether it was in your family, whether it was at your job. If you've seen people who did not know half of what you know, what you knew, get the opportunity to lead because they were louder, type the word facts. I'm just making sure I'm in the right room. That's it. I'm making sure I'm in the right room. Now, we done talked about we done talked about the origins of people pleasing. I'm sorry, I done taught 2 classes today. We just talked about the origins of people pleasing. Now we talked about how people pleasing affects your finances. Now I'm going to talk about the emotional trap. And if any time you need me to stop to explain something further, just say, hey, coach, can you go back? Can you go back? I need you to run that back, or I need you to explain that further. If you watch me on TikTok, you can actually join the live and ask me a live question during the class. I'm going to say this to say that people pleasing is addictive. People pleasing, listen, people pleasing is as addictive as cooking and watching people enjoy your food. I used to watch people eat my cake shots. When I would go places, and I would love to watch people eat my cake shots. I would love to watch them. Like, I would give people free samples just to watch them. Yes, I was going to convert it into a sale, but it was addictive to watch their face, to watch their eyes roll in the back of their head, to watch them be like, oh my God, that was addictive to me. That was addictive to me. People pleasing can be addictive like that because it produces short-term peaceful. So for that person in that TikTok live that said, I'm a people pleaser because I avoid conflict, you have become addicted to short-term peace. See, when you say yes to something you didn't want to do, the conflict disappears temporarily, right? Listen, when they say, oh, we want to take mama out to eat, and you don't feel like going out to eat, but you don't want your sister talking about you in the group chat. So you didn't work 7 days straight, 14-hour shifts, and you said, okay, let me go ahead and get dressed, knowing all you want is a nap. You say, you know what? This is temporary peace. Why? Because the other person is happy. So when you sacrifice yourself as a people pleaser and you do something you don't want to do, you create a euphoric situation temporarily. Why? Because the other person is happy. The other person has their way. But see, something else happens internally. Your self-respect decreases. When you do things you don't want to do, you start losing respect for yourself. I tell people don't know how to love you or respect you because you haven't been the example. You have to show people how to respect you. You have to show people how to love you. You have to show people how to care for you. You have to show people how to be kind to you. And the way they learn these things is by looking at how you treat yourself. And I want you to know that when self-respect decreases, confidence decreases. When self-respect goes down the drain, so does confidence. And when your confidence decreases, your standards decrease. And when your standards decrease, your life begins to shrink. Take a sip. Take a sip. This is how people pleasing quietly destroys ambition. Not through failure, but through slow compromise. Question. Have you ever said yes to something and then immediately felt resentful? Have y'all ever said something yes? Have you ever said yes to somebody and then immediately got mad because you said yes? Thank you so much, Rich Guru. Have you ever said yes to something and then immediately like, what the fuck did I do that for? What was I thinking? How many of y'all done been on the phone and said, okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that for you, or I'll be there, and hang up the phone and immediately get to cussing and fussing? Baby, you fighting the air. I can't believe I just said that shit. Oh my God, I don't want to go. Now you arguing with yourself. The other person like, oh man, she said she gonna come. I ain't think she was gonna come. When I asked her, I didn't think she was actually gonna do it. Come on, immediately punch in the air. I want you to know that resentment is your boundaries trying to wake up. When you feel like that, when you get to cussing and fussing, though that punch in the air, that fallout that you have with yourself, those are your boundaries trying to wake up. That is you trying to protect you. That is you telling you, girl, pick up that phone and call them back and tell them, fuck no. That is you telling you, bitch, we ain't doing it. Listen, call that hoe back right now. That is you protecting you, saying call them back right now and tell them we not doing it. Hey, bitch, it is April Fool. Gotcha. I'm not doing it. My bad. I thought about it, prayed about it. They're like, girl, that was 10 seconds ago. Oh, well, I decided I'm not going to do it and stay blessed. Baby, let me tell you something. When I stay in my, listen, when I protect my boundaries, let me tell you something. When I tell somebody no, and I stand on that shit, I go to sleep well. I go to sleep good as hell. Because I've been saying I've been protecting my peace for a long time now. It was hard. Telling people no was hard. Telling people no, telling my kids no was hard. No matter what age, this shit was hard. Now, please. And no. Absolutely positive. And it's a no. And it's a negative. What's up, Buttercup? Let's talk about why boundaries feel so hard, right? Many people know that they should set boundaries. You know that. But you still struggle to do it, right? And the reason is simple. You believe boundaries will cause a rejection. When you tell people no, they're not going to want to fuck with you no more. Right? When you tell people no, so you don't tell them no. They ain't going to want to deal with you no more. They ain't going to want to bother you no more if you tell them no. Hell, some of us do that with our grandkids. Some of us let our grandkids get away with everything because you be like, if you tell them no, they ain't going to want to come over Grammy house no more. They ain't listen. They don't want to come over Grammy house no more. So I'm gonna go ahead and let them do what they want to do. If I tell my son no, then I ain't gonna hear from him for a while. If I tell you said you struggle telling them grown children no, you know why, Ebony? You just call them grown children. Them is fucking adults. It's your verbiage. You heard you say they grown children. There's no such thing as a grown child. That's an adult. That's my adult son, my adult daughter. These are fucking adults. You understand me? You can't tell if you just listen. And I used to do that. Oh, that's my grown, that's not your baby. They grown as fuck. Stop calling them children. They not children. Yeah, they not children. That's what, see, as a mother, you still see them as little kids. As a mother, your 30-year-old son is still your 8-year-old. You know what I'm saying? When you see your 23-year-old begging, that's still your 3-year-old, right? When you see your daughter might even have her own children, but you still see your little girl. No, them is adults. Yeah, you said, yeah. Yeah, you say this shit for what it is. Yeah, I'm a Grammy. I thought my granddaughter, time out real quick, y'all. I thought my granddaughter was 11. I've been telling people that story all goddamn. Like, yeah, my granddaughter just turned 11. She just turned 10. Shout out to you, Nyla. I have a 10-year-old grandbaby and a 3-year-old grandbaby. I'm a Grammy. Okay? And my oldest granddaughter, she used to love and hate coming over my house. I'm not about to play with your motherfucking ass. My daughter used to be like, Dad, mommy, like you don't like you supposed to be a grandma. You supposed to let her get what? Absolutely the fuck not. Because if I let you run over me, you're gonna continue to run over me. If I let you run over me now, you're gonna continue to run over me when you get older. The shit is not gonna stop. I want y'all to understand. Y'all gotta stop giving people so much leeway in your life. Listen. You believe boundaries will cause rejection, and rejection feels dangerous to your nervous system. And here's the truth: why people most eventually discover is that people, listen, I'm saying this again, I say this all the time. People who benefit from your lack of boundaries will resist when you develop them. When you start evolving and start making decisions to find your inner peace and your inner joy and to set boundaries and to conserve your energy, the people who have benefited from you not having any are the first ones to cut the fuck up. You hear me? You know, the first people to cut up, whether it's your kids, your husband, your situationship, your family members, whoever, your friends. When you decide, hey, I'm about to get myself back on a good financial path, I'm not loaning out no more goddamn money this year, baby. The people gonna cut the fuck up. I can't believe you, who you think you is, blah blah blah. First, it's gonna go from a guilt trip, then it's gonna go to who do you think you are, or you acting funny and yada yada yada, wop wop wop. You hear what I'm saying? Because listen, and then they gonna cut up not because your boundaries are wrong, but because your previous behavior was convenient to them. If you allow people, listen, if you allow your grown kids to borrow money all the time, listen, and you stop letting them borrow money, now all of a sudden you are the villain, you are the bad person, you don't care about them. They gonna go back to childhood. They didn't have problems with you since they was 12 years old. Whoop de doo. And this is why growth often requires disappointing people. I'm gonna say this again. Growth requires disappointment. Somebody put that in the comments. I don't think y'all understand this. Growth requires disappointment. When you decide to grow, you will disappoint people in your circle. Growth requires disappointment. Listen, growth requires disappointment. Listen, every time I decide to expand, I'm going to lose somebody. And at this point, I'm okay with it. Growth requires this. Every time I decide to evolve, I end up losing people. And here's the deal. I'm not losing you. It's like shedding skin. That's okay. Right? I disconnect from people. Growth requires disappointing people. I want you to type the word boundaries if you are ready to stop negotiating your peace. Growth requires somebody to put that on their Facebook tonight. Listen, growth requires disappointment. It does. Growth requires disappointment. When I say, listen, growing in my business is I'm going to stop doing such and such. If I ever tell y'all, I'm going to stop doing readings. Growth requires disappointment. What you mean you're going to stop doing readings? What? I can't call you and ask you what this man thinking about me instead of calling this man and asking him what he thinking about me? What you mean? Growth requires disappointment. How when I decided to grow my business, expand my brands, and only cut down to 2 days. Listen, and only cut down to 2 days a week. Only cut down to 2 days a week with reading. Growth requires disappointment. Well, I tried to book with you and it say you ain't got nothing till after the 15th of the month. Okay. Growth requires disappointment. I got other stuff I'm doing. I ain't got time to sit up and read your ass all day. The whole month of February, I don't think I did readings for real. Why? Because I focused on what was taken off. That was the taxes and the budget with Bay. I ain't got time to do all that right now. People, I want to get a reading and I need to ask you a question. Growth requires disappointment. If you want to stop people pleasing, you cannot simply try to say no more often. So let me say this to say this, huh? If you want to stop people pleasing, it's not just about simply saying no more often. You must install a different identity. When you stop people pleasing, don't just think you're gonna walk around and say no, 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 huh? You need to just come up with a different identity. Understand that the new identity is someone who operates by standards, and standards are non negotiable rules. For example, we talked about this in the first class. I do not explain my boundaries excessively. You hear me? I do not explain my boundaries excessively. Huh? Somebody says, well, why don't you work on Wednesdays? Because I don't. That's it. Now, if I feel like someone's asked me a question for educational purposes and people say, well, Coach Misty, why is it like, did you never work on Wednesdays? I'll tell them when I was creating my millionaire lifestyle in 2020, when I was working for AAA and I was working from home and I was writing out my millionaire lifestyle. One of the days that I would take off of work to live my millionaire lifestyle would be on Wednesdays. I would go ahead and write out my schedule and I would live out that schedule on Wednesdays. Therefore, Wednesdays became an off day for me. Wednesdays became an off day for me when I was actually working a 9 to 5. That was the day that I was carving out my new identity on Wednesdays. And it just stayed with that Wednesday was an off day. Wednesdays is the day I did something that was totally off from my normal day to day. And now that I have actually formulated that millionaire lifestyle that I was creating in 2020, the millionaire blueprint that I was writing up, I actually formulated that. I now use Wednesdays as still as my off brand day for me to do something amazing. Whatever it is I want to do, I do it on Wednesdays because it gives me energy in the middle of the week. Right? Sunday, Monday, and Tuesdays are heavy days when it comes to reading. Sunday starts off my week. And Sunday, Monday, and Tuesdays are heavy days. And I believe, I don't care if it's exercising, whether it's going to the gym, fat, whatever. After 72 hours, you need a mental and a spiritual reset. And so that's why I take off Wednesdays. And then I work Thursday, Friday, and then most of Saturday I'm off as well, which I probably could make a lot of money if I did reading on Saturdays. But again, I'm preparing for Sunday because Sunday starts my week. Now, am I explaining that to somebody who simply wants to know why I'm not doing what I'm doing because they want to read and know? Am I explaining that to somebody who's trying to build their own millionaire blueprint and want to ask a question? Yes. However, I do not explain my boundaries excessively. If you're somebody who wants a reading on Wednesday and you hit me up and be like, Coach, I really need a reading, and I'm so gracious enough to text you back and say, hey baby, it's Wednesday, I don't work on Wednesday. And you say, well, why don't you work on Wednesday? That's the end of the conversation. Ain't shit else to talk about. Ain't nothing else to talk about. I just told you I don't work on Wednesday. That's it. I'm not going to go. I'm not about to defend my position about Wednesdays with you when it's something you want from me. Good day. Here's another one. I do not lower my value to be accepted. I'm not going to stop being who I am for you to accept me. I'm not for everybody, and that's okay. Y'all need to understand that you are not for everybody, and that's okay. Listen, if the whole world loves you, then listen. If the whole world loves you, that means that you don't know who you are. That means that you are, listen, that means that there are so many different facets that you are pleasing to everybody. The whole world loves you. That means that you are, listen, you don't even know who the fuck you are because you're too busy trying to get them to love you over here and them to like you over here. And this is absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not for everybody, and that's okay. Another one is I do not tolerate situations that drain my energy. I'm saying this again. I do not tolerate situations that drain my energy. Again, I do not tolerate situations that drain my energy. I don't give a fuck who you are. You could be somebody I birthed. I do not tolerate situations that drain my energy. You could be my mama. I do not tolerate situations that drain my energy. When standards replace approval seeking, everything changes. Your relationships improve. You understand me? Your relationships improve. Your confidence increases. And your opportunities expand. Not because people suddenly like you more, but because you finally respect yourself. What did I tell you? People don't love you until they see how you love yourself. Listen, people can't respect you until they see the type of respect that you have for yourself. And people say, I love myself. No, you don't. When you lay yourself, your time on the line for other people who won't do the same, you don't. Listen, if I'm watching you, let me say that. If I'm looking for new friends, right? Let's just say I'm recruiting for new friends. I'm going to watch how my friends, like, let's just say I'm interested in having a new friend group. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to watch how other people respond to you. I'm gonna watch how other people interact with you. So if I'm on the phone with you and we talking and we chit chatting, get to know each other, and you walk into your job and people get to asking you questions, they ain't said good morning, how you doing? Ain't nobody said how's your day, haven't greeted you, they just start bossing you around. You not my type of person. You're not my type of person. You not. People don't respect you at your job. They don't even have enough. They listen. That means you run around and you fetch everybody's shit. You can't be my friend. Maybe you can work for me, but you can't be my friend. Huh? You can't be my friend. If I hear you constantly apologizing all the time, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Oh, I ain't mean to do that. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. You're not confident in the steps that you take. Stop apologizing for every goddamn thing. You hear me? Listen, we not doing that. Hold on, y'all. Let me go ahead and get this person out of here. 1 second. Got him. I listen to how your kids talk to you. Huh? I listen to how the person who loves you, right? I watch how you move in relationships. Today, Cardinal and I was both watching Love After Lockup, which is funny, in two separate rooms. I said, Cardinal, please get out my head. And on Love After Lockup, I was watching it, and it was this young lady was upset because the person she was dealing with was getting paroled, and he couldn't spend a night with her because he had to go to his mama house, parole to his mama house. And she called her sister, and her sister was crying, her sister was laughing at her because she was crying because she didn't get to spend the night, blah blah blah, however, whatever. It's those type of situations. And I was like, oh my God, is this the reason why I don't have any friends? Because I couldn't tolerate, like, I can't sit here and tolerate you being stupid about a man. I can't. I can't. So when I'm trying to get to know people, I look at all these things. I look about how the people in your life treat you. Does your husband treat you with respect? Does the man that you lay down with treat you with respect? Hell, does the man you lay down with even help take care of you in any possible way? Does he take care of your needs other than physically? Is he there for you emotionally, spiritually? Like what are we doing? I look at all these things because if these people don't love you enough to pour into you, that means that you're giving to everybody, which means I'm probably gonna have to pour into you to be around you, and I don't want to do that. You're a liability and not an asset, so I'm gonna move out the way. Listen, if everybody is tugging on you and pulling on you, if we can't have a phone conversation for people calling you every 35 seconds asking for something, whether it's your kids, your mama, your sister, you are spread thin. And if everybody is asking you for things, you and I won't be friends if I don't have anything to ask of you because that's what you're accustomed to. So I pull back. You say risk management? Absolutely. I'm bossed up. Did you get the email about the boot camp or no? Send me your phone number. Yeah, text that number. Cause I don't think I saw you in the thing for the boot camp. We about to have a work session. I don't think I saw you in the boot camp. I need to talk to you and a couple of the people about what it is that y'all trying to do. Now, listen, I want y'all to know that when I do the classes, I try to give you enough information to make you identify. All right, go ahead and text me your number. When I do these classes, y'all, I try to give y'all enough information to help you identify what you need to start evolving, or the changes that you need to make in your life, or maybe I want that little light bulb to go off. And sometimes I do it to make you feel uncomfortable. And if you feel uncomfortable about anything I said tonight, I want you to know that that is actually a good sign. Because identity shifts always feel uncomfortable in the beginning. When you realize that you fucking up and you decide to do better, see that moment when you be like, I've been fucking up. You ever had that moment where you just be like this? I've been fucking up. What you been doing, friend? Fucking up. Has y'all ever sat through one of my classes and be like, God damn. That's that moment. It may not be under as uncomfortable as yeah, you be like, God, I've been fucking up. Yikes. Huh? Yikes. That's that moment of being uncomfortable, and that's okay. That's because this is what this is. Listen, what you are identifying is there's a need for an identity shift. A lot of people are like, well, I'm just going to change what I do. Listen, I tell people all the time, your name you don't have no street cred no more. If you have been laying yourself on the line for 30 fucking years, your identity has no street cred. If you pop up tomorrow as the same, when I say identity shift, I don't mean you ain't gotta just change, you ain't gotta change your name. You have to accept a whole new identity. You got to be like, hey, that old shit, that old Tanya, that ain't working. I need to do something brand new. I need to change an identity thing, right? Listen, when if you got to do some deep work to do an identity shift. And I ain't talking about 5 years of shadow work either. I still don't understand what the fuck shadow work really is, or how I be going on that. I'm talking about deciding I'm gonna be a brand new person. Tanya did this, we gonna do that. And listen, when you do your identity shift, it's not about doing the opposite of what you were doing before. I don't want you to focus on the negative. I want you to pick out 10 new things, 10 positive things that you want to try, do, be about, or be known for. Right? So if you want to do deeper work like this every week, you need to join my community called the Highest Self Circle. Inside that space, we go deeper into identity, wealth psychology, relationships, and personal power. Again, I'm no longer here to motivate you. I'm here to manipulate your mind into doing something different. You can actually text the number on the screen, which is 469-520-9790. $95.25. Or you can simply go to go.iamcoachmisty.com, which is the link in my bio. It's go.iamcoachmisty.com. And if you want to study the full philosophy behind what I teach, I wrote a book called The 48 Laws of Overflow. This book breaks down the principles behind identity, standards, and building a life where you stop thinking for other people. And both of those links are in my bio. If you just go to go.iamcoachmisty.com, click the link in my bio and go ahead and scroll the page. You'll find the High Self Circle, and you'll also find where you can go ahead and get this book. This book is sold on Amazon. If I don't do anything but leave you with one thing, I'm going to leave you with one truth tonight. Being nice will make people comfortable, but having standards will change your life. I'm going to say that one more time because I think y'all need to hear it. Being nice will make people comfortable, but having standards will change your life. I want you to choose your future wisely. With that being said, class is dismissed. All right, listen, I want to thank y'all so much for rocking with me. The 48 Laws of Overflow is out. And yeah, that's what we got going. So listen, how many of y'all, does anybody want to hear a law real quick? Yes, no, or maybe so. You said shadow work is any trauma or traumatic self has to work through. Thank you, friend. When I meant I don't understand what shadow work is, I don't understand how these hoes be in the dark for 5 years and still ain't did shit. But thank you for the explanation. Maybe some other people needed it. What the fuck are we doing? Y'all keep reliving the same shit. It ain't gonna change. What are we doing? The fuck are we doing? What are we doing with shadow work? Y'all reliving the same fucking trauma. You 50 years old, talking about some shit that happened when you was 7. The fuck on. Police. Nothing is going to change about it. You're not going to get the apology you're looking for. Nobody's going to come rescue you. Rescue yourself. Amen. Amen. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pick one. Let me see. Oh, not me yawning. Talking about, let me pick one. Rest is a revolutionary act. Y'all want to hear that one? Or give me a number. Give me a number 1 through 48. Give me a number 1 through 48. Somebody hit me with a number. Hit me with a number. I ain't gonna read the whole thing. 1 through 48. Hit me with a number. Hit me with your best shot. Let's see. I saw Law 36. Let's see what Law 36 is. All right, let's see what Law 36 is. I saw Law 36 first. So that's alignment requires maintenance. Hold on. That might be one. Let's look and see what Law 20 is. We got alignment requires maintenance. I saw one in here I think I want to read. I might just pick the one. Let me see what Law 20 is. Baby. Where is it? TL Covey? You said 21 and I was on 21. I'm about to read from number 21. Now this one goes aligned. Law 21. Y'all ready for this shit? Law 21. Stop pouring into people who don't believe in cups. Shit. Law 21. Stop pouring into people who don't believe in cups. Huh? Not everyone is designed to hold what you give, and that is not your failure. Come on. Law 21, stop pouring into people who don't believe in cups. Let me tell you what this law is really about. This law is not about being bitter. It's not about becoming cold. It's not about withholding love, support, or generosity. It is about discernment. It is about recognizing that some people do not understand containment. That is the idea that energy, care, love, time, and effort are meant to be received, held, respected, and reciprocated. I'm going to say this again. When I say stop pouring into people who don't believe in cups, this is about recognizing some people do not understand containment. That's the idea that energy, care, love, time, and effort are meant to be received, held, respected, and reciprocated. When someone doesn't believe in cups, they don't believe in limits. I should close the book right there. I'm going to say it again. When someone doesn't believe in cups, they don't believe in limits. When someone doesn't believe in cups, they don't believe in responsibility. When someone doesn't believe in cups, they don't believe in stewardship. And no matter how much you pour, nothing stays. Now, let me explain to you what it means to believe in cups. See, a cup represents capacity. I don't think you're ready for this tonight. A cup represents capacity. This is someone who believes. So someone who believes in cups understands that that energy is finite. You will run out of energy, right? It says that people need rest. When you believe in cups, you know that people need rest. You know that giving requires receiving when you believe in cups. That support must be mutual when you believe in cups. That overflow is built on containment when you believe in cups. They know when they are full. They know when they are empty, they know when to ask, and they know when to pour back. People who believe in cups respect boundaries, not just yours, but their own. Now, let's talk about what it means when someone doesn't believe in cups. People who don't believe in cups often say things like, I don't need much, or I'll just take whatever, or I don't believe in labels. Come on, somebody. Or I don't like expectations, or I don't want pressure, or I just want to go with the flow. And what they're really saying is that I don't want responsibility for what I receive. When someone tell you, listen, if you are at the good old age of over 35 and you dealing with somebody who tell you they don't believe in labels, what they're saying is, I don't want responsibility for what I receive. They want access without accountability. They want support without stewardship. They want love without maintenance. So they let everything spill. And I'm going to tell you why you keep feeling drained. If you're honest, the exhaustion isn't coming from giving. Because, see, you are a giver by nature. The exhaustion comes from giving into bottomless spaces, right? So you pour emotional support. You're pouring time, attention, patience, forgiveness, resources, and energy, and nothing is held. Nothing is held, nothing is returned, nothing is protected, nothing is sustained. That's not generosity, that is leakage. Now, you say, well, Coach Misty, I keep on attracting people who want to take from me. Let me tell you why overgivers attract non-containers. This is dynamic that doesn't happen randomly. Overgivers are often emotionally intuitive. When you are an overgiver, you be knowing, huh? You are highly empathetic. You are responsible early in life, whether you had children early or you helped your family, you helped raise your brothers and sisters. You are responsible early in life. You are conditioned to be the strong one. You are praised for self-sacrifice. That means you learn to pour to feel useful. You learn to pour to feel connected. You learn to pour to feel love. See, people who don't believe in cups feel that energy immediately, not because they are evil, but because your pouring feels familiar to their emptiness. If I close this book right now and don't read another motherfucking word, we have done well. What? I'm gonna say this again, right? Listen, I'm gonna tell you, listen, this is why overgivers attract non-containers. This is why you attract people who take from you, right? Because you are emotionally intuitive, you are highly empathetic, you are responsible early in life, you are conditioned to be the strong one, you are praised for self-sacrifice, and that means you learn to pour to be useful. You learn to pour to be connected. Listen, you learn to pour to feel love. And people who don't believe in cups will feel that energy immediately. Why? Because your pouring feels familiar to their emptiness. Now, this is a question that I'm going to help a lot of y'all with. She said, damn, I feel like crying. That's okay, friend. Cry while you get the book. This is Join the Higher Self Circle so I can help your ass. Let me tell you why that son ain't gonna change. Let me tell you why that daughter you keep bending over backwards for ain't gonna do right. Let me tell you why that man that you love or that woman that you love and you pour into just ain't gonna treat you right. Let me tell you this. I'm gonna tell you why they don't change no matter how much you give. You cannot teach someone to value containment by exhausting yourself. Pouring more does not build a cup. It only proves you'll keep pouring without one. People learn capacity when they are required to hold something, not when it is endlessly replaced. Your overgiving delays their growth and it drains yours. This is the reason why no matter what you do, your child is not going to change. Your grown child is not going to change. No matter what you do, your brother is still going to be a fuck up. No matter what you do, your sister is still going to neglect her kids. No matter if you got your nieces and nephews so they wouldn't go into foster care so your sister can get her shit together, and she is not going to get her shit together. You know why? Because her kids are somewhere else. People learn capacity when they're required to hold something, not when it is endlessly replaced. Your overgiving delays their growth and they're draining yours. One of the hardest things I had to do was when my oldest son was homeless. When my oldest son was homeless in Cleveland, and I knew I had the resources to get him a place the very next day. But I said to myself, if I keep giving and giving, he'll never get it together. And I had to let him figure that shit on out. And when he figured it out, then he kept on figuring it out. If I keep giving to you, I remember my son called me and he was like, Mom, if you can just spare a couple dollars, I'm hungry. I haven't ate in a day. And my thing is, you keep getting jobs and you keep on whatever losing them. And I keep giving you money and you keep doing whatever it is that you want to do with it. And you're not doing the right thing with it. So maybe I got to maybe I got to let your stomach touch your back for a couple days for you to understand that you are a grown man and I can't keep saving you. Because I keep saving you, then nobody's I can't save myself. And we will be in this endless game, this endless thing. And now I got to let you do what you do. So as much as it hurt me, I had to block my son, because if I keep saving you, you're never going to do the right things to get on your feet. I'm going to talk about the difference between support and supply. Let's talk about this. Support says, I'll walk with you. See, a lot of people don't understand about support and supply. You think you're supporting somebody by supplying them, and you're not. Support says, I'll walk with you. Supply says, I'll carry you. Support is empowering. Supply is enabling. When you pour into people who don't believe in cups, you become a supply, not a partner, a friend, nor equal. And supplies are used and not cherished. Now, I'm going to explain to you why you feel guilty when you stop pouring. And this is very important. Guilt doesn't always mean you're doing something wrong. Often it means you're doing something new. You are conditioned to believe that saying no is selfish, that rest is lazy, that limits are unloving, and pulling back is abandonment. So when you stop pouring, your nervous system panics. But that panic is not intuition, it's conditioning. Now, I'm going to talk to you about what healthy pouring actually looks like. Healthy pouring has clear limits. When you pour into something, when it's healthy pouring, you have clear limits. When you say, listen, so for when my son started working, when my son went and found a job and he started working, I told myself that I was going to loan him or give him, not loan him because I don't loan money. Let me correct myself. That I was going to set aside $100 a month to give him. I didn't tell him that. I said, as long as he is working and he needs to, he's getting his life together, I'm going to set aside $100 a month to give him. So now I have clear limits on what I was going to give him. Not every time he hit my phone up, he add, oh Mom, can I get $5, $10, $7, whatever, $100 a month, right? So healthy pouring has clear limits. It has mutual exchange. It has appreciation, respect, and it can be reciprocated. Listen, you pour and it stays. You pour and it's valued. You pour and something pours back. I never forget the first time my son sent me some money back. I couldn't believe it. My son said, Mom, thank you. He got a paycheck and he sent me $20. I met a guy. It don't matter what I gave him, but the simple fact that he thought enough of me to say, hey, I value what you did for me. I value how you looked out for me. I thank you for getting me a bus pass when I was getting back and forth to work. And it may not be as much as you've given me, but I can give you something. That means that my son developed a cup. Huh? I wasn't just pouring into a bottomless pit. Listen, I had to take a step back in order for him to develop a cup. I had to take away what I was given in order for him to appreciate it and know, listen, I don't care. Listen, a dollar is still a dollar. I don't care how many of them I got versus how many you have. A dollar is still a dollar. You understand me? So once I step back and I pull back from my son and he had to go out here and really get it on his own and he can pick up the phone, listen, and he can pick up the phone and say, mama this and mama that and blah, blah, blah. Once he started getting it, he understood it and he gave it back. Listen, he was in a better mind state to go ahead, mom, I'm going to go ahead and send you $20. You go get you some Starbucks today, right? I want you to know that not always equally in the same moment, but consistently over time does the healthy pouring happens, right? And that is sustainability. Now, I'm going to tell you that when you stop pouring, people are going to get angry. And if you don't understand why people get angry, let me go ahead and say this. I want you to know that when you stop pouring into people and they get angry, it's not personal. You can't take it personal. When you stop pouring, you interrupt the system that benefited from your depletion. People who relied on your overflow without building their own cup may respond with guilt tripping, accusations, withdrawal, anger, and victimhood. We talked about this. This reaction is not proof that you were wrong. It is proof of the dynamic that's dynamic dependent on your overextension. So when you stop pouring and people start getting upset with you, you can't let that get to you. You can't listen, that's like a person coming off of a substance. They were addicted to you giving. So listen, with any addiction, when people go through withdrawals, their emotions are all over the place. You can't be upset about that. Listen, I'm gonna tell you why you don't need to explain your boundaries when it comes to this pouring. People who believe in cups understand limits. I'm gonna say this again. People who believe in cups understand limits. People who don't will argue with them. You don't owe a dissertation for choosing sustainability. No longer available is a complete sentence. Now, if you want to say, well, Coach Misty, how do I tell if someone has a cup? I'm going to tell you how you know if someone has a cup. When you are looking to expand your friend group, when you are looking to expand to give your heart to somebody, when you are looking for people who are going to, when you are even networking, you want to look for people with cups. Let me say this to say that. I want you to look for number one, accountability. Number two is follow through, gratitude, effort, boundaries, self reflection, and growth. People with cups will hold what you give them. They'll respect your limits. They don't drain you dry, and they don't disappear when you stop overgiving. People without cups, they take without awareness. They resist responsibility. They expect access to you, and they struggle with giving back. Now, I'm going to talk to you real quick. Listen, I said I wasn't going to go read this whole chapter, and I don't think I am, but I want to say this. I'm going to talk about why stopping the pouring is an act of self-respect. I want you to know that this law is not about punishing the people that you've been helping. It's about preservation. You are not here to be endlessly depleted. You are here to live, grow, love, and thrive. What are you here to do, boys and girls? We are here to live, grow, love, and thrive. I want you to know that your energy is sacred. Your time, listen, you have a limited amount of time. Time is not infinite. And your heart is not a public utility. Overflow is meant to circulate and not disappear. The shadow that blocks this law, the thing that's going to block you from changing, from pouring, from changing into dealing with people with cups to versus people with no cups, is the fear of being needed. A lot of y'all do shit because you like to be needed. I want you to know that if you are dealing with the fear of being needed, this shadow whispers, if I stop giving, I'll be forgotten. Huh? Or if I stop doing this, they won't want me no more. Or I'm only valuable when I help. And I don't want to disappoint anyone. But love that only exists when you're pouring is not love, it's dependence. I'm going to say this again. If a person only love you when you're doing something for them, they don't love. That's not love, that's dependence, right? So when you start, I'm not telling you not to pour. I'm telling you to pour selectively, because when you start pouring selectively, when you start pouring into people who believe in cups, your energy stabilizes, your resentment fades, your relationships deepen, your boundaries strengthen, and your life feels lighter. You stop feeling empty. You stop feeling used, and you stop feeling unseen, because what you give finally has somewhere to go. Now, if you go ahead and get this book from Amazon, we're going to talk about, there's an activation ritual in here called Choose and Where I Pour, which needs a journal and a quiet moment, because you're going to identify some things. What am I pouring to? I'm gonna ask y'all this question. I want you to identify one thing that you are pouring into without return? And be honest. Name one person, place, or thing that you are pouring to right now without return. What are you pouring into without return? Go ahead and put it in the comments. We're not going to judge you. What are you pouring to without return? There is an overflow practice. She said, these kids. There is an overflow practice after every chapter of the people. What is the name of this book? This is called The 48 Laws of Overflow. It's available on Amazon. You can go ahead and just type in The 48 Laws of Overflow. Is by Misty Scott. Or you can text the number on the screen and I can go ahead and send you the look. This is my latest book, The 48 Laws of Overflow. And it's a really easy read as well. Don't let the thickness of the book. It's a really easy read. Right? So listen, for the next 7 days before giving, I want you to ask yourself, does this person have the capacity to hold what I'm about to give? Does this person have the capacity to hold what I'm about to give? I need you to ask yourself that. Does this person have the capacity to hold what I am about to give? If the answer is no, I need you to pause. I need you to pause on your actions. I need you to pause on your conversation. If the answer is no, I want you to pause, because that pause is power. Now, listen, to sum up the law 21, I want you to know that not everyone can hold what you give, and not everyone can hold the love you have to offer. Okay, you cannot listen. You cannot teach them. You cannot pour into somebody. How many of us have loved someone who you feel like didn't have enough love, and you said, well, if I just love them enough, maybe they'll find out what love is. Listen, if I just love them enough, maybe you'll find out what love is. How many people have been in that situation where you pour into somebody, you keep pouring into them, hopefully hoping they got change? Hoping they'll change. You just keep pouring into them. If I just show them what it's like. Some of us take other entrepreneurs. Some of us have friends that we have a talent. You know, you have a successful business, or you don't mind starting a business, so you bring somebody else along for the ride. You be like, girl, you really dope. You could start a business. You could be making all the money. You ain't got to go to that job no more. Baby, I'm going to help you with your business. And you pour into these people. You pour into their business. You pour into all this stuff, and nothing happens. And then 30 days from now, a year from now, they still at the same job doing the same shit. And you just like, what? She said, I just did this goofy shit for 6 months. And you the one depleted. They ain't lost nothing. They ain't lost nothing, because you was pouring into them. It was just a bottomless cup. They ain't lost nothing. They ain't lost no sleep. They ain't lost shit. They like, what? And you's exhausted. Absolutely not. Listen, not everyone can hold what you give. I want you to know that overgiving enables depletion. Containment creates sustainability. Boundaries protect overflow, and selective pouring is self-respect. The affirmation for this lesson is this: I pour my energy where it is valued, respected, and returned. If you follow that one thing, you'll sleep better at night. I pour my energy where it is valued, respected, and returned. What is it? I pour my energy where it is valued, respected, and returned. If you love me, listen, if I love you, you got to love me back. I pour my energy where it is valued, respected, and returned. Listen, don't take your, listen, it's not about taking your energy back. Do you know? Let me say that. And I know a lot of people say, I'm going to call my energy back. It's not about calling your energy back. It's about stop. Listen, you ain't got to call your energy back, because you'll spend so much time trying to call your energy back from someone who they didn't hold. What you calling it back from? What you just shit on the floor? What you calling your energy back from? Just shit on the floor. They didn't hold it. That you don't call your energy. I'm calling my energy back from this person. I'm calling my energy back. What do you mean? They never held your energy. They don't have it. The shit is on the floor. Stop. No, fuck all that. Just pour your energy into where, listen, pour the energy you have, and somebody that's going to pour it back to you. Motherfucker, I'm calling my energy back. I say this shit. I'm going to call my energy back from such and such. They don't give a fuck about you. They never held it. Because if they held your energy, if they held your love, you wouldn't be in the situation where you are today. To God be the glory for the things he has done. Shit. Oh, my God. Lord have mercy. I was trying to see. Let me see. Your body keeps receipts. I could do this shit all day. Regulation is your real superpower. I could do this shit all day. I'm not about to play with y'all. Stop betraying your body for productivity. What is this? Hold on. I could do this shit all day. Alignment requires maintenance. Money responds to worthiness and not wishing. Not the doors of the church is open. Listen, I'm not doing this with y'all. I'm not about to keep reading this shit. I got stuff to do. Wealth comes to those who are ready to hold. I'm not going to read this. Listen. I'm not, you said that's the one. I'm not going to read this tonight. I'm not going to do this with y'all tonight. Shit. We'll be here all day. Okay. 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 I'm going to say this one last one. I ain't going to read the whole thing, but I need y'all to listen. I need y'all to know. Listen. Listen, I need y'all to know this. Everything you desire already exists. Align with it. This is law number 46. Everything you desire already exists. Align with it. I'm only gonna give y'all one page. I'm only gonna read one page and I'm gonna let it go. Listen. Everything you desire, this is law number 46 in the book. Everything you desire already exists. Align with it. You are not waiting for your life to arrive. You are learning how to meet it. Somebody. I think my husband's still up. You are not waiting for your life to arrive. You are learning how to meet it. There's a deep exhaustion that comes from believing you are creating your life from nothing. What? There is a deep exhaustion that comes from believing you are creating your life from nothing, from scratch, from struggle, from sheer force of will. It makes desire feel heavy. It makes vision feel distant. It makes the future feel like something you must wrestle into existence. But the truth is quieter and far more revealing. Everything you desire already exists. Not as fantasy, not as wishful thinking, but as potential reality. Listen, but as a potential reality already moving through the world. Your work is not, listen, your work is not to invent it. Your work is to align with it. I should hang up. I should hang up. If you want me to hang up, just tell me to hang up. If y'all want me to hang up, just tell me to hang up. What? Listen, your work is not to invent the life that you want. Your work is to align with it. Alignment is misunderstood because people think that it means waiting. That's not alignment. They imagine sitting still, hoping something happens, trusting blindly, doing nothing. But alignment is not passive. Alignment is positioning. It is choosing thoughts, behaviors, environments, relationships, and rhythms that match the life you say you want before proof arrives. I tell y'all that all the time. Alignment is positioning. Let me run that shit back. It is choosing thoughts, behaviors, environments, relationships, and rhythms that match the life you say you want before proof arrives. It is becoming compatible with what already exists. I want you to think about how often people delay alignment until after results appear. They say, I'll relax when things work out. I'll trust myself when I succeed. I'll act confident I'll act confident once I'm chosen. But alignment works in reverse. I keep telling y'all this. You do not wait for the outer world to change before you shift internally. You do not wait for you to win the Powerball before you start presenting yourself as a Powerball winner. Listen, you shift internally so that the outer world can meet you. The idea that you want already exists. Listen, the idea that what you want already exists can feel unsettling at first because it removes the drama of becoming. See, if you were to be honest with yourself and say the shit that I want, listen, if you was to be honest with yourself and say, you know what, the man that I want is already out there. He's not in some fairy tale land. His ass works a 9 to 5 with me, probably downtown. Now it takes away the whole drama of it all. We're not doing that. It takes away the drama of becoming. It removes the excuse of timing. It removes the illusion that you are powerless. If it already exists, the money, the man, the house, the wealth, whatever, if it already exists, then the question is no longer when. The question becomes, where am I misaligned? We don't have to listen. Miss Nisha say, speak those things that is not as though they are. Fuck speaking it, be it. Stop speaking it, be it. What did I tell y'all? Huh? I told y'all last year I was going to get married. I told y'all I was going to get married in 2025. I told y'all I was going to get married. I didn't give a fuck. I'm getting married. Even when the situation I was in didn't want to work out, I told y'all in 2024 I was getting married. Even when the situation did not work out the way I thought it was going to work out, I did not stop that from being a bride. I didn't say, oh, I'm going to be a wife. I said, I got to be a bride because in order, and I started buying shit as a bride. See, I just wasn't talking about it. I was being about it. I didn't write the shit on the paper 369 times. I started buying bride shit from Temu. I started using my free credits from shout out to Temu. I became a bride. Before I had a fiance, I became a bride. And I stuck to that shit. And I said, guess what? I'm not going to just wait for someone to knock on my door and ask to marry me. I'm going to go ahead and hold the situation to where my husband is going to be here. I created a situation, baby. Listen, I created a situation. I said, I'm going to have a pop the balloon at my house. And I'm going to invite every eligible person, everybody in my phone that I think I would want to do. I'm inviting. Now, I did have 10 other women at my house. We was having a pool party. But I'm doing a pop the balloon. And there were certain people that I invited that I said, this is tonight. I told myself to my husband is going to be here tonight. And if y'all know, y'all know. If you know, you know. That was in June. That was in June. I invited a certain young man, aka Vic Unk. I invited Cardinal. I had said back in 2021, if there was anybody that I would give up everything for, it'd be Cardinal. And at that time, me and Cardinal hadn't even been on a date yet. I said if there was one person I would give it up for, it was Cardinal. I had not even spent a weekend with Cardinal at that point. This is somebody that I have come across years at a time. It wasn't even nothing consistent. That wasn't even who I was dating at that time. Nothing like that. But I always said if it was one person I'm gonna give it up for, it'd be him. And sure enough, when I said it was it, I was becoming a bride. I invited him to the thing. I didn't even think he was gonna come, but I invited him. And sure enough, he showed up. If you want to hear the story is on my TikTok. And when he stood in the line for the thing, when out of the 5 guys, he stood there for the pop the balloon, and we was having a good time. And it was something I asked him to do, and when he did it, it was like God turned me around, and I said, I knew it. I said, this is him, because I'd already told God. I just didn't sit and say, oh, Lord, send my husband to me, and didn't do nothing about it. I put on a whole party. I put on a whole thing. That was the last of the last. I tell people, do you know what type of balls or kahunas it takes for you to invite several men into your house that are interested in you at the same goddamn time? Some of those people I was actively dating, they was all there at the same time. You know what kind of kahunas it takes to sit at a goddamn spades table with somebody who just took you to the movies, somebody who you want to be with, and somebody who had a crush on you for 10 years, and y'all all sitting at a goddamn table together playing spades? I did something about it. I did something about it because I believed what it is that I want already existed. I just had to align with it. And sure enough, boom, Cardinal was there. Me and Cardinal matched during the pop the balloon. And goddamn me, we never, hey, listen, we kept it going. And we got married December 30th. Popped the balloon on that. And was married December 30th. Huh? Popped the balloon on that. I aligned myself with what it is that I said that I was, this shit already exists. I'm not waiting for someone to come and knock on my door. I'm not sitting on my hands, not doing nothing about it. I aligned with what it is that I wanted. And I said what I said. I'm going to say this again. Alignment is positioning. It is choosing thoughts, behaviors, environments, relationships, and rhythms that match the life you say you want before proof arrives. You understand what I'm saying? The idea of what you want already exists can feel unsettling at first, right? Because it removes the drama of becoming. It removes the excuse of timing. It removes the illusion that you are powerless. If it already exists and the question is no longer when, the question becomes, where am I misaligned? Come on, Val. And then me and Cardinal got married on 12/30 at 11/11. It wasn't even planned like that. That's what God said. The man said, hey, when me and Cardinal got married, the judge said, I don't know how much you believe in manifestation. That judge should know me from a can of paint. He said, but your time of your marriage is 11/11. I said, well, look at that. Listen, this is more than, listen. The question becomes, where am I misaligned at? That is more of an honest question and more of a confronting one. I want you to know that misalignment, the reason why you haven't achieved the things that you want to achieve is not about desire, because you already know what it is that you want. I want you to know that misalignment is about the habits that contradict the vision. You can't say you want a husband but you keep doing whole stuff. You can't say you want a husband, but you keep dealing with people who don't want to, who don't believe in love. You can't say you want a husband and you sleeping with a married man. You can't say you want to be rich, but you still doing broke people shit. You can't say you want to go back to school, but you haven't filled out an application. Misalignment is about the relationships that pull you backwards. You can't say that you want to elevate, but you keep on being friends with this person who always complain about stuff. Misalignment is about the beliefs that keep you bracing for disappointment. Misalignment is about the identities that were built for survival and not expansion. Listen, you can't keep blaming everything on being a teenage mother. Bitch, you are 50. Let me shut the goddamn book. You can't keep blaming shit on being a young mother, a teenage mother. You are 50 fucking years old. Them kids is 50 fucking years old. You got to let go of that. You can't say, oh, I would have finished college if I wasn't a teenage mother. Oh, I would have had a business if I wasn't a teenage mother. Guess what? I was a teenage mother, but I don't talk about being a teenage mother unless it's always glory behind the story. Unless I'm relating with something. I can't be like, oh, you know what? I'd have been further in life if I wasn't a teenage mother. Being a teenage mother is the reason why I decided to go get a master's. Being a teenage mother is the reason why I decided to go back for my PhD. Being a teenage mother is the reason why I built this business. I can't keep surviving off of that. I used to have an EBT card, daycare vouchers, and everything. I didn't use that EBT card as a reason why to stay on welfare. I used that EBT card as a reason why to get off of welfare and become something for myself. You got to go ahead. You got to align with the things that you want. You can't tell me you want to be a millionaire, but you keep your income at a certain level to keep a Section 8 voucher. You can't tell me that. Misalignment talks about how alignment. You cannot align with abundance while practicing scarcity. You cannot align with peace while choosing chaos. You cannot align with love while distrusting yourself. Alignment asks for coherence. Everything you desire exists because it already has been lived by someone somewhere. You understand me? I'm going to say this. You said I'm packing up my house and buying new stuff for a new house. I'm claiming and believing I'm moving too. That's what I'm talking about. Listen. Everything you desire exists because it has already been lived by someone somewhere. Do you hear what I said? Everything you desire exists because it had already been lived by someone somewhere. I want you to know that peace exists. What else? Wealth exists. Healthy love exists. Purpose exists. Ease exists. You are not asking life to invent something new. You are asking to step into a version of reality that is already available. That availability does not mean ease of access. It means possibility without creation. I want you to know that alignment is the removal of resistance, not the addition of effort. I'm going to say this again. Alignment is the removal of existence, not the addition of effort. And most people don't need to do more. They need to stop doing what contradicts what they want. It's not that you need to do more. You need to stop doing the shit that's against what you say you want. I need you to stop tolerating what drains you. Stop negotiating with what diminishes you. Stop rehearsing identities that no longer fit you. Alignment simplifies life by reducing friction. One of the reasons alignment feels difficult is often because it requires loss. When you become aligned, you lose old patterns, old relationships, old narratives, old coping mechanisms, old versions of yourself that were once necessary. But alignment does not remove what you need, it removes what you have outgrown. Another reason alignment is avoided is because it requires honesty. You must admit when your actions don't match your desires, when your choices undermine your intentions, when your comfort is costing you your future. Alignment is not judgment, it is clarity. When alignment begins, life often feels quieter, less forcing, less chasing, less convincing. This can feel unsettling to people accustomed to urgency, but quiet is not stagnation. Quiet is stability. And stability is what allows the next level to arrive without collapse. Alignment also changes how time feels. When you are misaligned, time feels slow and heavy. When you are aligned, time feels responsive. Things meet you at the right moment. not because you waited, but because you were positioned. I want you to know that alignment creates timing without pressure. There is a misconception that alignment requires perfection, but it doesn't. Alignment requires directional consistency. You don't have to get everything right. You just have to stop moving against yourself. Small aligned choices compound faster than dramatic but inconsistent ones. Everything you desire already exists, but it does not chase. It does not convince. It does not beg for your readiness. It waits for compatibility. Compatibility is built through repeated alignment. Let me say this again. Compatibility is built through repeated alignment. One of the clearest signs you are aligning is to decrease in resistance. Now, listen, I could read this. Listen, I could read this all day long. I'm going to skip to page 427. And then for real, I'm going to go ahead and close out because I feel my voice. I told you, Carlo got sick. Then I got sick. Then I think we've been sick together. And I feel my voice getting a little shaky. And I got some work I need to do. If you don't take nothing else from tonight, I want you to know this. Everything you desire already exists. Your task is not to chase it, but to meet it. Alignment is the bridge between vision and reality. It is built through honest choices, steady direction, and the courage to live as if what you want is already possible. Can I run that back for y'all? Everything you desire already exists. Your task is not to chase it, but to meet it. Alignment is a bridge between vision and reality. Alignment means you are going to get there through honest choices, steady direction, and the courage to live as what you want. The courage to live as if what you want already exists, because it does. I just need you to meet there. I want you to repeat after me. I meet my future by becoming compatible with it. I meet my future by becoming compatible with it. Y'all, let me tell you something. Tonight has been amazing. I am so thankful for the rest. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with me, for waiting on me. Shout out to the people who purchased the book. If you do not know, if you want to purchase the book and don't know how to find it on Amazon, text the number on the screen, take a screenshot, text 469-520-9525, and I'll send the link directly to your phone. If you would like to join the Higher Self Circle, that is my identity transformation group, which is built on the 48 Laws of Overflow. You can go ahead and join. We'll be having our first Higher Self Circle conference and graduation in January 2027 in Atlanta, Georgia. I hope to see you there. Listen, I meet my future by becoming compatible with it. Thank you to my mods. Shout out to Man Kate, did a hell of a job. Shout out to Anita, any of my other mods that were in the building. Shout out to y'all. Listen, we're back. So listen, class will resume tomorrow. Readings will resume tomorrow. All that time. Thank you so much. My name is Coach Misty, and I love you. Have a good night.